Hey folks, how do you do? It's your boys, I'm Joaquin.
And I'm Jeric.
And this is The World Unboxed.
For today's video, we're going to be talking about Astro's Playroom on the PS5.
Yeah, and if you like our video, don't forget to smash that button and check out and subscribe to our channel for other gaming content.
Astro's on the PS4 was created to showcase the features of the DualShock 4. And on the other hand, Astro's Playroom on the PS5 was created to show just the same thing.
But it does that.
And so much more.
A hell of a lot more.
This game was made by Japan Studios' Asobi team, published by Sony Interactive Entertainment for the PlayStation 5 exclusively.
And it comes pre-installed in every PS5.
That's the sweet thing.
Yeah.
It comes pre-installed. Thank you, Sony. This is a very well appreciated gift for all PlayStation fans.
Yeah, and it is a showcase, but definitely a proper game too. So I guess just to get right into it, as a game, in terms of the story, there isn't much of it, to be honest. It's more, yeah, it's kind of a platformer slash collect-a-thon in principle, but I guess what the real charm of this is in the setting. So it features a lot of what the PS5 can do, particularly the DualSense controller with, we talked about it a bit on our PS5 review, the haptic feedback, the adaptive triggers, and all of that.
Motion sensor,
yeah,
the
all
gyro,
of that, the mic, it's all, game changing. So at its core, as a platformer, it's kind of like, I would call it pretty straightforward, pretty basic. As a platformer, it's nothing, it's nothing groundbreaking in that sense, but it's more about, again, the controller and the content for sure. Like, it is a love letter to the history of PlayStation, and that's what, that's what goes straight into our hearts. So a lot of it you appreciate so much, 110%. Like, my soul appreciates this game. And in terms of, yeah, again, story, to wrap it up, not too much there, but you can't say it's without content, because it has it in loads and loads. So when it comes to how this references PlayStation history, it's crazy. Like, it's from the birth of PlayStation. It's all the different eras, the different generations of PlayStation, and not just within solely what's Sony and Sony hardware. It's also reference to different games you all love, and it's not just current gen stuff. It's games
from
that
PS1
made an impact from the PS1 all the way to the current gen, including all the handhelds. It's
in fact, it's also part of the fun, just looking at all the references and trying to realize which one it really pertains to. That's part of the whole fun. Discovering all those hidden stuff, all the references. That's part of the fun. Apart from the gameplay, the actual gameplay, that's just the sweet bonus.
Yeah, and how it was done, it was so, I would call it, it's so charming. I think that kind of thing, the concept of it, the execution, it's something, it feels very Nintendo-y to me, rather than something Sony would do.
Which isn't a bad thing.
Yeah, that's a compliment.
Could be a good
like
thing, yeah.
The innovation of Nintendo and how it does. And you know how when you play almost every Mario game, it has that charm to it.
Yeah.
They kind of captured that in a PlayStation way for Astro's Playroom, and they did it really well. And the fact that Nintendo doesn't have that kind of showcase equivalent in this case, I think they kind of, but it's something I would expect Nintendo to do first. So they kind of out Nintendo. So, but yeah, I'd love for Nintendo to do the same thing.
Like, that would be lovely if Nintendo did the same thing.
But the fact that Sony did it, and they came up with the idea, they executed it so perfectly. That's really good. Hats off.
And just the fact that it was really just meant to showcase the new features, and Sony came out and turned it into an actual platformer game, with all this nostalgia and all all the charm, as he said. It was just like a really fun time. And if you pick up your PS5, if you have a PS5, I suggest like you're gonna miss out on a lot.
Play that game first.
You're gonna miss out on it's pre-installed on all PS5, so you're gonna miss out on a lot if you don't play.
It actually starts with a demo, the actual demo of the DualSense. So yeah, you definitely want to do that first and play through the game. As a platformer, like we said, it's kind of straightforward, but it's really a lot of fun to play. Even if you're not that into platformers, it's so much fun.
You know what? Don't think of it as a game. Think of it as like you controlling the bot and going to like a PlayStation museum of some sort.
Yeah.
Think of it as that.
In the package of you're inside your actual PlayStation 5. It makes me, I know it's not actually happening, but the way it was designed, it's so charming, it's so captivating that it makes me want to believe, suspend that disbelief for a moment, and it makes me want to believe that robot's actually in there, in the actual PlayStation.
Yeah,
it's so magical.
They did it beautifully.
Yeah.
And it's also just a showcase of not just software with the game references and all those stuff, but the actual hardware of the PlayStation 5 itself.
Yeah.
You're gonna see a lot of those. It's basically a showcase, a walk through memory lane, a trip down memory lane. It's beautiful, I tell you, it's beautiful.
Yeah. So I guess just talking about graphics, it's good, it's great. It's not out of place on the PS5, but it's nothing earth-shattering either. So, but it's, like I said, part of the whole package. Like, it's really done well. So I think, yeah, pretty good in that area. But nothing I would write home about.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of graphics, it's not something, you would show to a friend to showcase the graphical prowess of the PS5. But it's beautifully made.
Yeah.
I mean,
but I
for
guess
what
it's,
it is.
Yeah, it's also that kind of game. Like, I guess going back to the Nintendo reference, you don't really play Mario games for the
graphics,
insane graphics. It's more of the charm of the environment.
Just to make things like general, even you wouldn't really play Nintendo games for graphics. If you want graphics, you'd probably go for the PS5 or maybe the Xbox. Or if you want like insane graphics, you would build yourself a rig and go for the PC. Yeah. So point is, you wouldn't really go for the graphics. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's beautiful in its own right.
Yeah. Soundtrack's it's fair, it's good. Nothing too memorable, but there was this one song that played through a lot of the game that sounds a bit too much.
Through a certain stage, yeah.
Yeah, and a bit beyond it too. Some menus, I think. Yeah.
Really?
It sounds a bit too much like Starlight by Muse. Dun, 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 dun. So, yeah, but that's a good song though. So if you're gonna be inspired by a song, it's quite catchy.
Yeah. We already talked about this in the PS5 unboxing / first impressions video that we did recently, and we just want to briefly tell you guys. Again, this is a showcase of the new features of the DualSense. So, using the DualSense, walking through stages, walking over sand, walking over glass,
steel, rubber, things like that.
Yeah, all those materials you can think of. Walking through that, Sony did a crazy, perfect job making you feel that in your palms, in your hands, just using the DualSense. At first, it's one of those things that's going to be hard to explain. But once you feel it, once you try it for yourself, once you feel it for yourself, you're going to know exactly what we're talking about.
It's sorcery. And also for the adaptive triggers, that was also another thing that you know the concept of adaptive triggers. So the pressure changes based on what you're doing, changes based on how you press the button. And it's something that we were expecting going in. It's been on the news, that and the haptic feedback as well, but experiencing it firsthand, it was something else. Still, my expectations were set high, and feeling it was like it took it further.
Imagine like pulling back the string off a bow
and feeling the tension.
Feeling the tension. What else?
Feeling the propulsion of rockets when you press on it, like
you know the strings you have in ball pens. So like you know, pressing those down, you know, that feeling you get, you know, they perfectly emulated it on the DualSense. So that's the adaptive triggers.
Yes. And as far as I know, at least from controllers, it's not the first in haptic feedback. Like the Switch has it a little bit on the Joy-Cons.
The rumble.
Yeah, but they have a game where you feel like there are ice cubes in the Joy-Con, and it does feel a little bit like
I haven't tried this.
So pretty good. But adaptive triggers, it's the first, I think, that I've experienced for sure, and it's the first implementation
on a console controller.
On a console controller. I don't know if there's something like that before on any other controller, but the fact that it was done for the first time, it seems like it's done so perfectly. It's not wonky in any way. It's just perfectly accurate. So it was done so well. And
as a bonus, depends on you if you think this is a crazy good bonus, if it's a slight bonus, but it has trophies. It has a full set of trophies, gold, bronze, silvers,
and it has the platinum.
The plat. So it has the platinum. So if you're one of those trophy hunters, trophy hoarders, if you're into that, if you're into just maximizing the potential of a game in terms of trophies, then this is a good game because it takes minimal effort to get the platinum trophy. I think I did it in like 5 hours, 6 hours.
But that's with all the collectibles.
That's with all the collectibles.
Yeah, so if you're not doing that, it's gonna be less. It's a lot of fun to get that platinum too. So that was it. That's Astro's Playroom on the PS5. And just to sum it all up, in case you were wondering, we're kind of biased. We grew up with PlayStation. Most of our lives was from the PS1, 2, 3, 4, and now 5. Yeah. So we're kind of biased. Yeah. So take this with a grain of salt and know where we're coming from. But this game, for our rating, is a, or should I say this? 10. A big 10. Yeah. A big fat 10. Absolutely well deserved. You'd find this game really nice if you started from the PS1, but this is a crazy good must-play game. Yeah, and even if, I'm thinking, maybe this is just my view, but even if you just started on the PS5, if I was a PC gamer before, maybe it won't hit you the same way in terms of nostalgia, but then it might be a bit educational instead. You know the rich history behind the PlayStation. Yeah. In fact, like we're actual crazy big PlayStation fans, but there were some things there a little more obscure. Like, I didn't even know. You know, like I found out through the game and I was like pleasantly surprised, and so I guess it's also, as you said, right? Like educational in a way. Yeah, so that proper museum, like you said. Yeah, like it's like a museum, to put it simply. Yeah, but the most fun museum I've ever been in. So. Imagine if that was like in real life. Yeah. Oh man, I would go there day one. So again, can't say it enough. If you're lucky enough to have a PS5 at this time, or when you do, first thing you do is boot that bad boy up and play through it. It's a whole lot of fun. And if you have played it, let us know what you think. It's just been such an experience for us, and yeah, we'd love to hear from you too. Yeah, anything, comments, recommendations, suggestions below. So that's been it. I'm Jeric. And I'm Joaquin. And this has been The World Unboxed. If you haven't yet, please be a friend and hit that subscribe button right there. And also check out our PS5 unboxing and first impressions video right here. That was fun. See you guys in the next video.